Hey, what's going on? My name's Dave and I play in a band called Headley.
We're All-Star Weekend.
Yo, y'all, what up, man? It's your boy Brian J.
Hey, we're the band Perry.
What's up, y'all? It's Air and Fresh. And me and the people from Johnston's want to let you know how important it is to pause before you post.
Because being in the spotlight has taught us a lot about being careful about what we publish about ourselves online.
Even the smallest post can be a really big deal on the web.
So make sure what you're posting won't hurt you, your family, your friends, or anyone else in that matter.
To learn more info, go to johnston's.com/info to know.
And remember to pause
Pause before you post.
Social media websites such as Facebook, such as Twitter, such as YouTube, where you can obviously make videos and then have people comment and rate them, they're so popular because it allows us to express ourselves.
These are places we can go to connect with others. Usually, we're connecting with our friends, people we already know, but we're also being introduced to new people, we're developing new relationships, and so this is a great thing. It allows us to keep in constant contact with people from around the world, friends that move away, relatives that live in other states, and so in general, social media is a great thing. The one problem with social networking is if you post a piece of information on your profile, whether it's a picture or a comment or a quote, whatever it is, all your friends get that. Maybe they think it's cool, maybe they think it's neat, maybe they think it's funny, so then they share that with their friends. You know, if you're friends with 200 people and they're friends with 200 people, next thing you know, thousands of people, many of whom you don't even know, now have access to your information. Because even if we have our Facebook page set to private, and even if we're very restrictive in terms of who we accept as friends, we have no idea who's going to copy and paste, take a screenshot, or basically use that information in a way that it wasn't intended. And so once you put something online, it spreads like wildfire, and also in many cases it's like a bullet out of a gun. You can never take it back because you never know who's copying it and distributing it. You have no control over that once you post it online.
It's really important for everyone to think before they act when they're interacting online, simply because when you're online, you sometimes feel invincible. I mean, you're behind a keyboard, you're behind the text pad of your phone, and you just have this geographic distance from anyone that you're talking to. So you don't really think about norms, you don't really think about morals, you don't really think about the law, you don't really think about anything except what you're typing or what you're uploading and sending. And so for that reason, we've got to be really intentional and always be figuring, you know what if everybody else did see this? What if it was on the front page of the newspaper? What if this was something that was broadcast to all of my loved ones? What would they see? What would they say? When I think about bullying, my conceptions are tied into the movies that I've watched when I was growing up. I think about The Karate Kid, and we see, Daniel LaRusso picked on by these thugs in California. Or we watch a movie like Back to the Future, and it's Biff and Marty McFly, where you've got this big, ogre-looking fellow picking on this wimpier kid. I think about cyberbullying, and really it's just traditional, real-world bullying, just amended using the technology. Whether it's a cell phone, whether it's a social networking site.
In our research, we find that about 1 in 5 teens has experienced cyberbullying in some form at some point in their lifetime, and about that many, maybe a little bit less, of teens admit to cyberbullying others. And there are a lot of factors that make cyberbullying different from traditional bullying, one of those being the relative anonymity, that you can go online, you can create a fake profile, a fake email address, you can say things to other people and not have a concern about them knowing who you are. You can kind of hide behind the computer screen, but the reality of the situation is anything done online has what we call a digital footprint. It can be tracked back to a specific device, a specific user, a specific time, and so the reality is that nothing you do online is completely anonymous, and so teens need to remember that anything you post online can be brought up again, can be attributed to you, and you can be held responsible. We hear a number of stories from teens themselves about their experiences with cyberbullying. We probably get an email every single day, a phone call from parents, teachers, others who are working with kids. And so we see the worst of the worst. I mean, we definitely see examples in the media where teens who have experienced cyberbullying to such a degree that they've really felt they had no other choice but to cause harm to themselves.
Here we have a girl, she's a freshman and her family immigrates from Ireland, and she becomes very popular in her high school and starts to date a couple of senior boys, but all the other girls in the lower classes, they become jealous and very envious of Phoebe. And so they start harassing her at school and just giving her grief, not just in the real world, but also online on Facebook. And so she's tormented, and she doesn't seem to be getting any sort of help, whether it's from the school, whether it's from any other adults in her life. And it gets to a point where she's like, God, there's no escape for me. And so she ends up taking her life.
Why do kids cyberbully? Why do students cyberbully? And they say because it's fun, they say because they're bored, because they've got something going on at home that they feel sorry for themselves and they want to make other people feel bad also. I think that with all the hundreds, if not thousands of kids I've spoken to, I think a lot of it is they genuinely don't realize the harm that they're causing. They don't think that, they think that they're just messing around, like friends mess around with each other. They think they're just having fun, but they don't realize that you might be putting on a straight face now, and this isn't affecting you that much, but deep down inside, you're crushed, right? And so I think that for the most part, most kids, if they knew how much hurt it was causing, they wouldn't do it. But since they don't see that, they don't think it's that big of a deal, especially with technology. With a face-to-face situation, if I say something mean to you, maybe you start crying, maybe I can see a change in your demeanor, maybe you punch me in the nose. Either way, I get some feedback from you. When it's technology, whether it's a cell phone text message or something I put online, I don't see the immediate impact. And so maybe I don't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe I just think you laughed alongside me. And so I genuinely think that's part of it, is they don't see the hurt that it really causes. It's very important that you pause before you post. And I think that youth are realizing the concerns associated with posting too much information. When we first started studying social networking 5 years ago, we did a random sample of MySpace pages, and we found that only about 39% of teens set their profiles to private. This last year we did that same survey and we found that 85% of teens are now posting their profiles to private.
I think a lot of teens are hearing from adults in their life that, look, you have to be really careful about what you post because of employers, because of college admissions coordinators, because of parents or even law enforcement maybe stumbling upon what you've uploaded.
It's better when you learn from the mistakes of others than to make the mistake yourself and have to live with the long-term consequences of a simple mistake.
Truth of the matter is that we live in this society where it's all about snap judgments. And frankly, I don't have time to get to know you. What I will do is run your name through Google, follow the links, and then just make a snap judgment about who you are, and then either give you opportunities or deny you opportunities based on what I find. And that's the reality of it.
Youth have to live their lives at a higher standard than we did, because all the adults in the room, everybody has made mistakes in our lives. We just have. But nowadays, if you make a mistake, it ends up on a camera, on a video, it ends up online, and you can literally never get rid of it. It's always going to be there. So you have to think about the long-term consequences of the information that you post to a social media or anywhere online, because eventually you're going to want to get a job, you're going to want to get into college, you're going to want to get that internship, your future spouse's parents might stumble across that picture of you holding that empty beer can when you're 15. You thought it was funny, but now you have to explain it to them. Well, it was just a joke. You never know who's going to look at that information and judge you, even judge you in a way that you didn't think was that big of a deal. Even if it was a joke, they're going to have misperceptions about you because of what's available online. So you definitely need to pause before you post.
I probably send about 50 texts a day.
I send about 300 to 400 texts a day.
I use Facebook. That's pretty much the only social media site I use.
I got around 300 friends on it.
I have 900 friends on Facebook.
I might know half of them.
I like using Facebook because it's low maintenance socialization. Pause before you post.